Hey up, how you doing? Are you alright? I've had an idea, right? Let me tell you how I came about it. I've been thinking about this for a while. Excuse me because I'm croaky. This is not a tasting video because I have got a stinker of a cold. I can't smell much, I can't taste much, and I'm really snotty, so sorry. So yes, I'm having a beer at night, say. I've got a lager or something, I'm drinking it. And then after I'll have an IPA or something, and then I'll drink that. And I might get a stout, and I'm like, I'm sure that's heavier than what I've... And like, it started making me think, I'm like, I've got a beer, and I'm like, does that feel the same weight as the other one? Is beer the same weight? Or is it relevant too? I don't know how many hops are in it, or how much grain you have in it, or whether it's a dark beer or a light beer, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is weigh beer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to weigh some beer. Now, there is some problems with doing this, I've got to be honest. There is some problems. So I'm going to use the same glass every time. It's always going to be this glass. That makes complete sense, doesn't it? It's always going to be the same set of scales. I think I'm doing it in grams. Okay? The problem I've got to be honest, is that sometimes your beer's not quite as full. The head, I mean, so I'm going with, if I can, the top of the pint bit on there, look. The beer's going to be to about there, I hope. Trouble is, this is going to be a process. I'm going to have to put a little bit of time and effort into this because I'm going to have to do it over a period. I'm starting with what I've got on tap. So this is the USC hop IPA. I've got Stardust Pale. I've got my Nipah on. See, that feels heavy, that Nipah. And I've got my Coconut Clipper Stout. So I'm going to start with them for a start. I've got a Hell's Pilsner down there. And I'm going to drop some commercial ones in when I'm having a beer. So I'm going to have to commit a little bit to this and remember. But I need to try and get it filled. Like if I do a hazy Jane, it's going to take me... I'm going to have to open 2 small cans, aren't I? But I'm prepared to do that for you. Just for you guys out there. I'm prepared to do this. So that's what I'm thinking. But if I don't get... You know what people are like. If I don't get the head right every time, it'll be less volume. I will try. But if there's a bit of a discrepancy, don't have a go. I've probably had 4 beers. At least I'm having a go, aren't I? It's something I've been thinking about for ages. Does beer weigh different? All the same? I don't know. So I've done this one. Here, look, I'll put the video here and I'll put what it weighs and a picture what it is. Is that what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them all together though. I won't. I'll just show you what I'm going to do in this one. And then I'll put that as the first one in the montage. I will do a montage. And then after a while, when I've collated all the information and stats, I'll come back to you and tell you what I find. Thing is, I'll tell you my thoughts because you'll know what I find. Because if you can be bothered to watch the snippets, you'll see what the beers weigh, won't you? I've already encountered a bit of a problem because when I was videoing this, I just caught the beer and knocked it across the scales and it dropped by 0.1, I think it was. But we're not going to be 0.1. I want to know if there's a significant difference. Not a that much beer I've put in less or more, not that significant. I'm looking for significant differences, not minute differences because of maybe my pouring or where I've put it on the scales, or you know what I mean, don't you? See, I really wanted to gauge whether you'd be interested in this because, like I say, I'm going to have to invest a bit of time, but I've got to do it for you to see that, haven't I? I could do a poll, I suppose, but I don't want to give it away. I want it to be a surprise when the video comes out. What do you reckon? Do you think beer weighs? When I hold it in my hand, see, this feels like a heavier beer. This feels like a bit of a heavy beer, I've got to say. But I don't exactly know. I'm not completely sure. Am I? Not completely sure. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a video, quick video, of the beers I drink over the next month, say. Maybe 2 months. No, I don't know. Where do you stop? Some in bottles, some in cans, some homebrew. Going all, everything's getting a go. Everything's having a fair run. Obviously, ingredients. The beers that I do from my kegerator that I've brewed, everyone generally I think everyone that I've got at the minute that will be included in this has a video attached. They'll be grained to glass generally, and that always has the recipe on it. So, you know, I'm not going to put the recipe for every beer. It's just a load of work, that is. But if you wanted to find out what grain bill's in it, I might look at those stats after. Maybe. I sort of know what goes in my beer. But yeah, I'm not going to put a grain bill for every beer that I've got. It's just too much work. Can't be bothered. But you can find it if you can be bothered to find it. So that is my plan. That's me plan. What do you reckon? Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm excited. Just to see a bit of knowledge in it. I'm going to go and start drinking some beers just for you. So we see. I'm just hoping my glass doesn't get broke. I think I might have another one identical to this during this process, because then I'm stuffed, aren't I? And I'm hoping the scales don't break. I guess I've got a bit of say. I've got other scales, but I don't know. Does it matter? I'm gonna use some continuity. Got to be a continuity. I don't know. I absolutely don't know if this is a great idea or a rubbish idea. I sound to myself in my head really croaky. Excuse me, I've got a really snotty nose. I've got a terrible cough. I've got a bit of phlegm coming off my chest. Not fit. You know when your head feels full? Does that make, it just feels a bit full. My head feels full. Do you know? But anyway, we're all right. I'll have a couple of beers. I've got some days off. I'm brewing tomorrow. Let's start with the experiment. I'm excited. We'll get some stuff together, and then I'll get back to you. Cheers. welcome, and the results are in. It's -5 outside. Can you see my... See my breath. Enjoying a cheeky little pilsner. I'll keep me lubricated. So, over the last month and a bit, I've been weighing beer. And I've got to be honest, the results have surprised me a bit. Can't believe it. I'm surprised. So stick with this and see what you think. I've got the stats written down. Let me just put my beer glass down. Right, I need my glasses and I've written it all down, so I need my book. Perfect, here we go then. Stats are in. And I'm surprised. I'm seriously surprised. So beer weight, I'm going to do a quick run through. I know you've just seen the montage. I'm just going to do a quick light to heaviest and then tell you what the difference is. Alright, so we've got a mix of homebrew and we've got a mix of commercials. Obviously more commercials than homebrew. So the lightest coming in at 897 grams was the Stella Unfiltered. Now we're going to go through them. Next is the Pils, the bottle, at 898 grams. Now I tried the same beer pulled off the keg and it was the same. But it was going to be, wasn't it? Because it's the same beer. One was just popped into a bottles and from the keg, carbonated. So it wasn't bottle conditioned or anything. So yeah, that was a 7. No, that was the same, that was. Next, Taste the Difference IPA. I think that's from Sainsbury's or somewhere, isn't it? 898, the same as the Pils. Same as the homebrew Pils. Next is Asahi. I love that beer. It's nice and dry. And I'm a fan of that. Coming in at 906. So we've gone from 800 grams to 900 grams now. Cruz Campo is also 906 grams. Aldi, the Aldi Punk Collaboration beer is 907 grams. The USC hopped IPA homebrew is 910 grams. One more gram up is the Shipyard coming in at 911 grams. Back to a homebrew, Stardust Pale from Crossmaloof, the hops from Crossmaloof, 913 grams. Cobra, that Indian favourite, 916 grams. Back to a homebrew, the Coconut Clipper Stout, 919 grams. And this is where I start getting surprised. Because I said to you, some beers, you know when you clunk them together, they feel a bit more dense, or you carry them, they feel a bit heavier. That Coconut Clipper Stout of mine, I feel it's quite heavy. And I thought stouts would be heavier. Anyway, let's carry on with the countdown. The next one is the NEPA, the Homebrew New England IPA, Citra and Mosaic, coming in at 922 grams. So that's actually heavier than my Coconut Clipper Stout. Another stout, a commercial one, coming in, the Guinness. There's supposed to be a shortage of that, but I got hold of it. Coming in at 925 grams. The Brewdog Black Heart, coming in at 931 grams. That's the beers that I tried. I might have to do. They're the beers that I had, right? So, the difference. Now, I thought there was going to be a big difference. A big difference in like a lager and a stout and a New England IPA. Or milkshake IPA. I didn't have a milkshake IPA, but you know what I mean? Like a lager. You cling a couple of lagers together. Ching! Like hitting a bell, innit? Couple of stouts. Doof! Innit? You know what I mean? And if you tap them, like you tap a glass with a Pilsner or a lager or something, and it's like ding, ding, ding. If you get a stout or a New England IPA, just sounds a bit deeper. So the difference between the lightest beer I tried and the heaviest beer I tried is 34 grams. 34 grams. That was not what I was expecting. I just wasn't. I was expecting a bigger difference. I was expecting the stouts and the NEPAs to be... I mean, there was. The stouts was the heaviest, wasn't they, when they came? Yeah, the stouts and the NEPA, they was top 3 heaviest, but I just expected it to be a bigger gap. Anyway, I've had to do this so you don't have to. I need Dude's Brews. I need a grapple or something, don't I? But I'm not doing that. So this is about as technical as I've got for a while, weighing beer. I quite enjoyed it. I got my levels right. I went through, if I'd had a couple of beers at night and did it, I still went through and checked the next day before I edited it and made sure that I got the levels right. And the levels was right on all of them. The beer part of it was just to the top of the word that said pint. And I made sure of that. There's no discrepancies. The glass lasted. The scales lasted. The continuity is there. And the results are there for you all to see forever. So, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think that was a bit pointless, but I don't know. It was something that had been churning around in my head for a while, and I've been proven wrong. I thought the viscosity, I just thought it'd be different, and it isn't that much. It's negligible. So on that bombshell, I'll see you later. Cheers.
Like, subscribe and hit the bell.